Hello and welcome to Community Forum. My name is Heather Hanson O'Neill and I am here today with a wonderful guest, Janae Fitzpatrick from Workspace Education. And you know that when I do a show, I talk about inspiration, connection, and contribution. And that is exactly what Janae does in her role as Dream Director. So I need to just read a sentence or two to introduce Janae. She is a Dream Director, an executive functioning coach, advocate, and certified school psychologist. She focuses on supporting children through their passions and strengths. When I first met Janae, I was drawn first to your wonderful energy and passion and light, and then I was enthralled by your title. So I'd like to begin by first telling me about that and how, and then we'll talk a little bit about Workspace, and then come back to your background, okay?
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So, as Dream Director, it's pretty much the coolest job in the world. I get to work with our children and really help them manifest their big ideas. I get to spend time with them and tap into their passions and areas of focus and really help support them. I don't want to take credit and say make their dreams come true, because it's really them. They're doing all the hard work. They are making things happen on their own. Yeah. I just get to support and empower, whether it be making a plan or just helping connect with the right person or professional or outside resources. But I get to just watch them thrive and run with their dreams.
Who's got it better than you? I mean, how much more inspired can that be?
I know.
Now, for those of our viewers who aren't as familiar with where this is coming from and where you have this amazing job, yes, tell us a little bit more about Workspace.
Okay, so Workspace Education is a nonprofit, vibrant learning community, and we are in our 32,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility right here in Bethel, Connecticut.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's an incredible space.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk in there and you can't help but be inspired by the innovation. So tell us a little bit about the director and where these ideas stem from.
Sure, yes. So Catherine Fraze, our, my goodness, visionary leader, she inspires us all. She had this dream for the last 20 years. She has a teaching degree and a strong background in Montessori. And her dream was to literally change the face of education and create an environment that not only allows children to be who they are, but to find their voice and really discover what resonates within themselves. Mm-hmm. And within the physical space that she created at Workspace Academy and Workspace Education, we have over 20 different learning labs or different areas where children can deep dive into whatever area it is that they are passionate about, while learning and creating just the coolest learning experiences for themselves.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's awesome.
It is. It really is. It's a playground, but it's not. It's a playground that the kids take very seriously and utilize in a way that helps them grow.
Absolutely.
I just find it so stimulating. I think sometimes one of the things that you sometimes see in traditional education, mm-hmm, is that it's compressing, it's sometimes stifling. Mm-hmm. And I know that our better education systems and school systems, that they're really working toward lifting that and, mm-hmm, and helping the kids to find more ways to create and follow their own passions. Mm-hmm. However, what you guys have done, you've taken it to a whole other level to facilitate that that ability to be creative and think completely outside of the box without, yeah, any restrictions.
Yes.
So academy versus education, this is the part that sometimes gets me a little bit like, which one and where'd they come from?
Excellent question. So Workspace Education is the nonprofit family membership piece. That's the learning community. Workspace Academy is the physical space. And so they are two separate entities, but kind of come together to make this magical learning experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have asked a long time ago because you just made it so much clearer for me.
It's definitely a valid question that a lot of people have.
Like, which one is it? I never know.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go back for a moment to your background because you have a really fun, eclectic background. So we can, why don't you tell us a little bit about the, you know, your specific certifications and how you got into this?
Sure. So I became a school psychologist. I was working in a school for children with special needs, and I realized that a lot of their needs came down to life skills. It wasn't necessarily the Common Core standards that most kids are being pressured to learn, or need to learn, rather. And so when I had my son, I decided that I wanted to have a little bit more flexible time to stay with him. And so I really, I did my own deep dive into executive functioning coaching and started my own private practice in doing that. And that's really working on those life skills like organization, time management, all of those skills that we need to accomplish things and to just be successful in our own right. And that's also what led me to knock on Kath's door last fall. And so for that, I am forever grateful.
Yeah, that's neat. And then you also have some different things in your background, right? So
yeah.
Tell me about this, what, competitive gymnastics?
Yes, yep. So physical movement and health are definitely very important for me and my family. And when I was younger, I was a gymnast, and so I had this opportunity to kind of revisit and start coaching a team in Rye, New York, actually. And that was just so fulfilling to see these girls just do amazing things. And I don't know if you're familiar with the sport of gymnastics, but it takes a lot of courage and bravery, focus, and self-discipline. And so I got to be a part of that for a few years, which was really cool. And I also got to get a certification in as a children's fitness specialist, because through all of the years and my experience of working with kids, I think there's a really important mind-body connection. And so keeping all, both mind, body, and spirit healthy, you need movement. Yeah. And so I kind of tried to marry all worlds together and yeah, see what I could do with it. And I did some pretty cool things.
And I'm sure that you're incorporating that mindset in the things that you discuss in your Dream Director position.
Absolutely.
That part spoke to me because of my background in dance and what I speak about in the importance of understanding how not only how your mind impacts your body, but how your body impacts your mind. And I think that too few people take into consideration how when you focus on being aligned and balanced, that's when you're functioning optimally and at peak performance. And if you let a part go because you're maybe so focused on one area, that's when things can sometimes fall apart, like a wheel that's not really round and balanced.
Yes.
So I found that interesting that you're able to incorporate that. That's very, very cool. Now, when you started with this has been fairly new. Has this been like a snowball? Like, how has this felt for you in helping to create this?
Oh boy, well, the feeling part is just, gosh, super energizing and so exciting to be part of something so innovative and cool and just something that I know is exactly what's best and optimal for all children. I can't even express how awesome it has been to be part of that and for Kath to just allow me to be part of this journey. I started in November. We opened up our doors for our beta program January 17th. And since, it has definitely been an awesome snowball, but in the best way possible. You know, we could only anticipate so much, and we had Kath's vision, and amazing, cool things have evolved, and now we're super excited to be getting ready for our official launch in August.
So what do you have to do now in the next month or so to prep for that? And what's your goal, your vision for this next year?
Oh, good question. Well, I would say one of my main goals is to really, so we have this beautiful space, right? But we also want our children and our families to remember that when they're in this space, anything is possible. To expect that anything can happen. And so how can we foster that culture? How can we create and just have that, our families be like living and breathing that every moment that they're with us? And so really it's about fine-tuning special events like Marketplace or Shark Tank, which you were awesome when you were a part of it with us. And just the overall, the culture piece, you know, different initiatives, and just the day-to-day feel of who we are and what we're about. And so trying to do all that.
Oh, that's simple, right? You just need, like, oh my goodness, that is not an easy task, but I know that you guys are up for it. Going back to the Shark Tank experience, I had such a great time in judging that. That was incredible. And a few things stand out to me. One is I love to see the range of ages and perspectives all coming together for this, which is an interesting part of the homeschooling process, is that you're really integrating everyone. You're not segregating them according to ages or skills. And I think that helps to widen their perspective on the world overall. And the other part is that they were so encouraging of each other and honestly supportive and excited, and I don't see that outside of that environment. So how do you cultivate that, and how can we in the outside world use those skills to encourage that more for our kids?
Ooh, another great question. You know, I think that I don't even know that we can give any one thing credit. I think that it is a community that we are one another's constant cheerleaders. I will say, and I'm sure you can speak to this, there is so much happiness in these hallways, and the coolest part about it is that being inspired is so contagious. When you see someone doing something really cool, not only could you potentially hop in on that experience, or you can say, wow, if they're doing that, oh my gosh, maybe I could do this. And it's really just the beautiful thing about Workspace, that people are just inspired, and the ratio actually with so many adults being around, it really is like a whole team of cheerleaders supporting every child. And we just want to see everybody thrive, and you're not compared to anybody else, and we just want you to be authentic and to be your best self. I mean, what more